Let me tell you something that the financial advisors and pension experts won't say because it doesn't make them any money. They'll tell you that retiring on the Irish state pension alone is impossible, that you need private pensions and investment portfolios and property wealth to survive your golden years. But here's the truth they're hiding, lad. The state contributory pension in 2026 pays €289.30 per week, which works out to roughly €1,250 per month. And in certain counties of this island, that's not just survival money, that's comfortable living money. You heard me right. There are places in Ireland where a single pensioner can pay rent, buy food, heat their home, and still have euros left for a pint and a flutter, all on the state pension alone. Support the channel now, or spend your retirement years in a Dublin bedsit eating beans from a tin, while perfectly good counties sit empty and affordable. Just joking. Subscribe. Number 10. County Longford. We begin in the heart of Ireland, in a county so overlooked that even its neighbours forget it exists. Longford has been the butt of jokes for so long that most people never bother to investigate what's actually there. Their loss is the pensioner's gain, because Longford offers retirement living that the state pension can genuinely cover. Let's do the maths, because maths is what matters when you're living on a fixed income. The state contributory pension provides approximately €1,250 per month. In Longford, rental prices for a one-bedroom apartment or small cottage average between €350 and €450 per month. That's not a typo. That's the actual rental market in Longford in 2026, verified by checking current listings any day of the week. So you've paid your rent and you've got €800 to €900 remaining. The average monthly food cost for a single pensioner eating properly, not just surviving, but eating well with fresh vegetables and occasional meat and fish, runs about €250 in Longford. The supermarket prices are the same as anywhere in Ireland, but local markets and farm shops offer savings unavailable in cities. Heating costs vary by season. But averaging across the year and accounting for the fuel allowance payment of €33 per week during the heating season, the monthly heating cost comes to roughly €100. Electricity runs another €50 to €60. Telephone and basic broadband add €30. You've now covered rent, food and utilities, and you've still got €350 to €400 remaining every month. That surplus covers everything else a pensioner needs. The medical card, which all state pension recipients qualify for, eliminates GP visits and prescription costs. The free travel pass eliminates transport costs for buses and trains. The television license is free for pensioners over 70. The discretionary money goes toward clothing, household goods, entertainment, and those small pleasures that make retirement enjoyable rather than merely endurable. But Longford offers more than mere affordability. The Royal Canal passes through the county, providing walking and cycling paths that cost nothing to enjoy. The fishing on Lough Ree is free for rod and line. The county library in Longford town is excellent, with online resources that provide entertainment for those who enjoy reading. The community centres run activities specifically for older people, most of them free or nearly free. The healthcare infrastructure in Longford includes the Midland Regional Hospital in Mullingar, about 30 minutes away, and various primary care centres throughout the county. The medical card ensures free access. The pharmacy options include independents who take time to explain medications rather than rushing you through. The home help services are available for those who need assistance, funded through the HSE and costing nothing beyond modest means-tested contributions. The social life for pensioners in Longford centres on the Active Retirement Ireland branches that operate throughout the county. These groups organise day trips, card games, exercise classes, lunch clubs, and social events that combat isolation without costing significant money. The GAA clubs welcome older members as supporters and committee helpers. The church communities provide spiritual and social connection for those who want it. Number 9. County Leitrim. If Longford seems too bustling for your retirement taste, let me introduce you to Leitrim. And this is Ireland's least populated county, with more sheep than people in most townlands, and the property market reflects that empty abundance. A pensioner can live here on the state pension not just adequately, but genuinely well. The rental market in Leitrim defies what people expect from Ireland. One-bedroom cottages in rural townlands rent for €250 to €350 per month. Small houses in villages like Mohill, Ballinamore and Manorhamilton rent for €300 to €400. Even in Carrick-on-Shannon, the county's largest town and something of a tourist destination, rentals remain below €500 for modest accommodation. At €300 rent, a pensioner on the state pension has €950 remaining monthly. Food, utilities, Mayan telecommunications consume perhaps €450 following the same calculations as Longford. That leaves €500 monthly for discretionary spending, an extraordinary surplus that would be impossible in any urban area. But Leitrim's appeal goes beyond the arithmetic of affordability. The county is stunningly beautiful in a quiet, undramatic way that grows on you slowly. The lakes, the drumlins, the small farms clinging to hillsides create a landscape of intimate scale where everything feels manageable. The Shannon Erne waterway passes through, providing walking and boating opportunities. The forests planted by Coilt offer trails that never feel crowded because nobody's there. The community in Leitrim has a character shaped by decades of population decline. Those who remain have chosen to remain, creating a population of genuine characters who value independence and privacy while maintaining the mutual support that rural life requires. Your neighbours will help when you need help and leave you alone when you don't, which is precisely what many pensioners want. Healthcare access in Leitrim requires honest acknowledgement. There's no hospital in the county. Serious medical needs require travel to Sligo or Roscommon or even Galway. For routine care, the GP clinics and primary care centres handle most needs, and the medical card covers everything. For pensioners in reasonable health, the healthcare limitation matters less than it might seem. For those with chronic conditions requiring frequent hospital visits, Leitrim might not be the ideal choice. The social isolation risk in rural Leitrim is real and shouldn't be minimised. A pensioner who can't or won't drive faces genuine challenges. The bus services are limited, connecting main towns but leaving rural areas inaccessible without private transport. The answer is either maintaining a car, which adds cost but remains affordable on the state pension, or choosing to live in one of the villages where walking distances cover daily needs. Number 8. County Roscommon. Roscommon sits in the heart of Ireland, geographically central but economically peripheral, which creates the affordability that makes state pension retirement viable. The county has been losing population for over a century, leaving housing stock that exceeds demand and keeps prices remarkably low. The rental market in Roscommon offers options that seem almost fictional to anyone used to Dublin or Cork. And one-bedroom apartments in Roscommon town rent for €350 to €450. Houses in smaller towns like Strokestown, Castlerea and Ballaghaderreen rent for €300 to €400. Rural cottages can be found for even less, though with trade-offs in condition and accessibility. A pensioner paying €350 rent has €900 remaining from the state pension. The food costs in Roscommon track national averages around €250 monthly for comfortable eating. Utilities including heating, electricity and telecommunications cost approximately €180 monthly on average across the year. That leaves €470 for clothing, household needs, entertainment and savings. The possibility of saving money on the state pension might seem absurd to urban dwellers, but in Roscommon it's genuinely achievable. A pensioner who owns their transport outright, uses the free travel pass for longer journeys, and maintains modest habits can actually accumulate a buffer against unexpected expenses. This financial resilience transforms retirement from anxious month-to-month survival into something more relaxed and dignified. Roscommon's attractions for retirement include the lakes that dot the county, particularly Lough Key with its forest park offering trails, beaches and activities. The town of Boyle has developed a cultural scene unusual for its size, with festivals and events throughout the year. The traditional music sessions in pubs across the county provide free entertainment for those who enjoy listening or participating. The healthcare infrastructure in Roscommon has improved significantly in recent years. The primary care centres provide GP access throughout the county. The Sacred Heart Hospital in Roscommon town handles many needs locally. Galway University Hospital, about an hour away, provides all specialist services. The balance of local access and regional backup works well for most pensioner needs. The social infrastructure includes active retirement groups in all major towns, parish organisations that provide community connection, and sporting clubs that welcome older members as supporters and volunteers. The isolation risk exists in rural areas, as throughout the Midlands, but village living in Roscommon provides social contact while maintaining affordability. Number 7. County Mayo. Now, we move west to a county of dramatic beauty where the state pension stretches further than you might expect. Mayo has areas as expensive as anywhere in Ireland, particularly around Westport and parts of the coast, but the eastern and southern parts of the county offer pensioner-friendly economics. The rental market in Mayo varies enormously by location. Westport is expensive, comparable to commuter towns near Dublin. But Ballina, Castlebar's outskirts, and the smaller towns like Swinford, Charlestown and Ballinrobe offer rentals between €350 and €500 for appropriate pensioner accommodation. The key is choosing location based on affordability rather than scenery alone. At €400 rent, a pensioner retains €850 from the state pension. Mayo's food costs track national averages, though local fish is often cheaper here than inland counties, and the farmers' markets offer good value on produce. Utilities run slightly higher than midland counties due to the wetter, windier climate requiring more heating, but the fuel allowance largely compensates. Mayo offers something the midland counties can't match: genuine natural drama. The mountains, the coastline, the islands visible from shore create a landscape that feeds the soul in ways that flat pastures cannot. A pensioner with a free travel pass can bus to Achill Island for a day trip, costing nothing but lunch. The walking opportunities, from gentle coastal paths to serious mountain climbs, suit every level of ability and ambition. The community in Mayo combines traditional Irish hospitality with an independent streak, forged by emigration and hardship. The county has been sending its young people to America and England for generations, and those who remain have developed resilience and mutual support as survival skills. A pensioner settling in Mayo will find neighbours who help without intruding, community without obligation. Subscribe now to prove these videos actually help and make sense, or keep believing that retirement requires wealth and live in fear of a future that's actually affordable. Your choice, but I know which makes more sense. Healthcare in Mayo centres on Mayo University Hospital in Castlebar, a substantial facility providing comprehensive services. The primary care network covers the county well. The medical card ensures free access. For serious specialist needs, Galway is within reasonable reach. The healthcare situation in Mayo is actually better than many more expensive counties. The social life for pensioners varies by location. Castlebar and Ballina offer full active retirement programs with varied activities. Smaller towns have more limited but still genuine social opportunities. The traditional music scene across Mayo provides free entertainment in pubs throughout the county. The GAA culture is intense, offering spectator sport and community connection through following the county team. Number 6. County Sligo. Sligo combines Yates country beauty with urban services in a package that the state pension can cover if you choose your location wisely. The county town of Sligo has become expensive relative to its size, but the surrounding areas remain affordable and offer better value for pensioner living. The rental market in Sligo town has risen significantly, with one-bedroom apartments now commanding €450 to €550. But step outside the town to villages like Collooney, Ballymote, Tobercurry or Enniscrone, and rentals drop to €350 to €450. These villages have services, community, and access to Sligo town when needed. At €400 rent in a Sligo village, a pensioner keeps €850 monthly. The standard costs for food, utilities and telecommunications consume approximately €450, leaving €400 for discretionary spending. That's enough for a comfortable retirement life with room for small pleasures and unexpected expenses. Sligo's beauty is famous through Yeats's poetry, but often experienced only by tourists passing through. A pensioner living here has daily access to landscapes that visitors pay premium prices to glimpse briefly. Ben Bulben rises dramatically behind the town. Loughill sparkles in the valley. The beaches at Ross's Point and Strandhill offer year-round walking regardless of swimming weather. The cultural scene in Sligo exceeds what the population would suggest. The Yeats connection brings literary visitors and supports a cultural infrastructure including festivals, readings, and events throughout the year. The Model Arts Centre in Sligo town runs programs that welcome older participants. The traditional music scene is genuine and active, but not tourist-oriented, with sessions in pubs that anyone can join. Healthcare in Sligo centres on Sligo University Hospital, a large regional facility providing comprehensive services. The primary care network covers the county thoroughly. The medical card opens doors to everything. For most pensioner health needs, Sligo's healthcare infrastructure is more than adequate, and the regional hospital handles serious issues without requiring travel to Dublin or Galway. The social infrastructure includes active retirement branches in Sligo town and larger villages, church organisations providing community connection, and community centres running programmes specifically for older people. The isolation risk in rural areas exists, but is manageable through village living and maintaining social connections. Number 5. County Donegal. Donegal is Ireland's forgotten county, administratively part of the Republic, but geographically isolated from it, cut off by Northern Ireland and accessible only by narrow corridors of Irish territory. This isolation has created affordability that makes state pension retirement genuinely viable. The rental market in Donegal is the most affordable in Ireland for quality of location. Cottages and small houses in towns like Ballyshannon, Bundoran, Letterkenny's outskirts, and numerous villages rent for €300 to €450. Even coastal properties with Atlantic views can be found at prices that would be impossible anywhere else in Ireland. At €350 rent, a Donegal pensioner keeps €900 from the state pension. Food costs track national averages, as with local fish often cheaper than inland. Utilities run higher due to the harsh Atlantic climate, perhaps €200 monthly on average, but the fuel allowance compensates significantly. That leaves €550 monthly for all other needs. The natural beauty of Donegal is simply extraordinary. The coastline is the most dramatic in Ireland, with cliffs, beaches, and sea stacks that rival anything in Europe. The mountains of the interior, including Errigal and the Derryveigh Range, offer landscapes of wild grandeur. The quality of light, influenced by the Atlantic weather systems, creates ever-changing vistas that artists have been trying to capture for centuries. The community in Donegal has a distinct character shaped by Gaeltacht traditions in the west and border experiences in the east. The people are independent, sometimes reserved, but generous when trust is established. A pensioner who makes the effort to integrate will find neighbours who watch out without interfering, community without pressure. Healthcare in Donegal presents genuine challenges that require honest acknowledgement. Letterkenny University Hospital provides comprehensive services but is distant from much of the county. A pensioner in West Donegal might be 90 minutes from emergency care. For those in good health seeking routine medical support, the primary care network handles needs adequately. For those with serious chronic conditions, the healthcare distances require careful consideration. The social infrastructure includes active retirement groups in larger towns, church communities throughout the county, and community centres providing activities and connection. The isolation risk in rural Donegal is real and significant. A pensioner choosing Donegal should either maintain driving ability or locate in a town where walking distances cover daily needs. Number 4. County Galway, East. Now, Galway requires careful distinction because the county contains both some of Ireland's most expensive property and some of its most affordable. The city and the Connemara coast command premium prices. But East Galway, that quiet agricultural region between the Shannon and the city, offers pensioner economics comparable to the Midlands. The rental market in East Galway operates differently from the famous western reaches. Towns like Ballinasloe, Loughrea, Portumna, and then Tuam have rental prices between €350 and €500 for modest accommodation. These are genuine towns with genuine services, not isolated cottages requiring car ownership for basic survival. At €450 rent, a pensioner keeps €800 from the state pension. Standard costs for food, utilities, and telecommunications consume approximately €450, leaving €350 for discretionary spending. Not as generous as Leitrim or Longford. but viable for a pensioner with modest habits and realistic expectations. East Galway offers advantages that purely rural counties can't match. Galway City is accessible within an hour, providing urban services, specialist healthcare, and cultural opportunities when desired. The towns themselves have good basic services, including supermarkets, pharmacies, GP clinics, and community facilities. You're not isolated despite the affordability. The landscape of East Galway lacks the drama of Connemara, but has quiet beauty of its own. The lakes and rivers of the Shannon catchment provide fishing and walking opportunities. The boglands, while acquired taste, have moody atmosphere that grows on you. The small farms and quiet roads create peaceful cycling territory. Healthcare in East Galway benefits from reasonable access to Galway University Hospital, typically 45 minutes to an hour away. The local primary care network handles routine needs. The medical card covers everything. For a pensioner in reasonable health, the healthcare situation is entirely adequate. The social infrastructure includes active retirement branches in all major towns, vibrant GAA communities, church organisations, and community centres. The markets in Galway City, accessible by bus with the free travel pass, provide stimulation and a variety beyond what local towns offer. East Galway combines rural affordability with urban accessibility in a balance that suits many pensioners. Number 3. County Tipperary. Ifrechatir North. Tipperary is Ireland's largest inland county, and like Galway, it requires geographic distinction. South Tipperary has become expensive, influenced by Clonmill's growth and proximity to Waterford and Cork. But North Tipperary, that rolling farmland between the Shannon and the mountains, remains affordable for state pension retirement. The rental market in North Tipperary offers genuine value. Towns like Nenagh, Thurles, Templemore, Roscrea and Borrisokane have rentals between €350 and €450 for appropriate pensioner accommodation. These are substantial towns with good services, not isolated hamlets. At €400 rent, a pensioner retains €850 from the state pension. Food costs track national averages with local farm shops, offering savings. Utilities run slightly lower than coastal counties due to the sheltered inland position. The discretionary remainder of around €400 monthly allows comfortable retirement living. North Tipperary has advantages beyond mere affordability. The towns are prosperous enough to maintain good services, including supermarkets, pharmacies, banks, and professional services. The landscape is gentle and fertile, and pleasant for walking and cycling. The Longford shoreline in the west offers water-based recreation. The cultural heritage of Tipperary runs deep, with GAA traditions that make the county almost religiously devoted to hurling and football. A pensioner interested in sport can follow teams at every level, from junior club to senior inter-county. The traditional music scene is active, with sessions and pubs throughout the county. Healthcare in North Tipperary benefits from University Hospital Limerick, about 45 minutes from most of the county, and Nino General Hospital for local needs. The primary care network is comprehensive. The medical card provides free access. The healthcare infrastructure compares favourably with more expensive areas. The social infrastructure includes active retirement groups in all major towns, and parish organisations providing community connection and community centres running varied programmes. The towns are large enough to provide genuine social opportunity, while small enough that community develops naturally. Number 2. County Monaghan. We move now to the border, to a county whose affordability reflects decades of economic challenges related to partition and the Troubles. Those challenges have eased, but the property market hasn't caught up, creating opportunity for pensioners seeking value. The rental market in Monaghan offers remarkable value. Towns like Monaghan, Carrickmacross, Castleblaney and Clones have rentals between €300 and €450 for one-bedroom accommodation. The prices reflect distance from Dublin and the historical economic disadvantages that partition imposed. At €350 rent, a pensioner keeps €900 from the state pension. Food costs track national averages, with Northern Ireland's lower prices accessible for day trips. Utilities are moderate. The discretionary remainder of around €450 to €500 monthly is substantial by any standard. Monaghan has beauty that surprises visitors expecting nothing but flat farmland. The drumlin landscape creates intimate valleys and small hills that give texture to the scenery. The lakes, particularly around Glasgow and Castleblaney, provide walking and fishing opportunities. The Patrick Kavanagh connection adds literary depth to the landscapes he celebrated in poetry. The border position creates opportunities unavailable elsewhere. Northern Ireland is minutes away, with lower prices on many goods and services. The towns on both sides of the border have historical connections that create a cultural richness distinct from purely southern areas. The opening of the border after the Troubles created possibilities for cross-border community that continue to develop. Healthcare in Monaghan benefits from the hospital in Cavan, about 30 minutes away, and good primary care throughout the county. The border position means Northern Ireland healthcare is technically inaccessible for routine care, but emergency services don't discriminate by jurisdiction. For most pensioner needs, the healthcare infrastructure is adequate. The social infrastructure includes active retirement groups in all major towns, strong GAOA communities, church organisations, and community centres. The border communities have maintained social cohesion, despite decades of division, creating resilience that benefits newcomers as well as long-time residents. Number 1, County Cavan. And so we arrive at my number 1. The county I've saved for last because it offers the best overall package for state pension retirement. Cavan combines affordability with services, community with independence, and beauty with practicality in a balance that no other county quite matches. The rental market in Cavan is extraordinary. One-bedroom accommodation in towns like Cavan, Ballyborough, Virginia, Kings Court and Ballyconnell rents for €300 to €400. Houses in smaller villages can be found for even less. These prices reflect Cavan's persistent position off the beaten path, ignored by commuters and tourists alike. At €350 rent, a Cavan pensioner keeps €900 from the state pension. Food costs track national averages, with local farm prices often lower. Utilities are moderate in this sheltered inland county. The discretionary remainder of around €500 monthly exceeds what most pensioners anywhere in Ireland could expect, but Cavan's appeal goes beyond the numbers. The county has services that purely rural alternatives lack. Cavan Town has a substantial hospital providing comprehensive local care. The primary care network covers the county thoroughly. The retail infrastructure includes proper supermarkets, pharmacies, hardware stores, and professional services. The landscape of Cavan combines drumlin hills with lakes in a pattern repeated throughout the county. The fishing is famous, with anglers coming from across Europe to try the coarse fishing on Cavan's countless lakes. The walking is gentle, but varied, suitable for pensioners who want exercise without mountain climbing. The quiet roads suit cycling for those who enjoy it. The community in Cavan has character shaped by independence and self-reliance. The county has always been somewhat apart, border adjacent but not border obsessed, rural but not backward. The people take care of themselves and each other, offering help when needed without unnecessary interference. The social infrastructure includes active retirement groups in all towns, vibrant GAA communities, church organisations across all denominations, and community centres providing activities and connection. The isolation risk exists in remote areas, as everywhere in rural Ireland. But the towns provide genuine community while maintaining affordability. The position of Cavan allows easy access to Dublin when needed, about 90 minutes by car or bus. The free travel pass makes Dublin day trips cost nothing beyond meals. You can have the capital's attractions when you want them while living in the affordable heartland. And there you have it now. 10 Irish counties where the state pension alone provides not just survival, but genuine retirement living. I've shown you the numbers, explained the costs, described what each county offers beyond mere affordability. The information is yours, to use or ignore. Some of you will dismiss this as unrealistic, will insist that retirement requires private pensions and property wealth and investment income. Perhaps you're right if you insist on living in Dublin or Cork, and on maintaining standards that the state pension was never designed to fund. But if you're willing to consider alternatives, to look beyond the obvious to the overlooked, retirement on the state pension is not just possible, it's comfortable. The counties I've described aren't backwaters without services or communities without life. They're genuine places where genuine people live, genuine lives on modest incomes. The pensioners already there aren't suffering. They're getting by, often getting by well, with health care covered and housing affordable and enough left over for the small pleasures that make life worth living. The state pension was designed as a safety net, a foundation on which private provision could build. But somewhere in the property madness that gripped Ireland, people forgot that foundation can be enough. And in the right place, with the right expectations, the state pension provides a retirement life that's dignified and comfortable and sustainable. I've shown you the places. I've done the maths. Whether you believe it, whether you act on it, that's your own affair. But don't tell me later that nobody showed you the path. The path is clear. The numbers work. The counties are waiting. Now I need to rest these old bones. Living on a pension myself, I can tell you the maths works. Trust me on that.